this is T. It looks like vacation time is coming, so it is time to start thinking about traveling. Remember that right after closing your door, you already live in your comfort zone. I think that every person should go and see another country abroad at least one time in life. People are dreaming about visiting so many different countries: Iceland, Norway, China, Australia, just anything. Traveling is not a surprising thing nowadays. However, there are many people still staying at homes and not traveling due to some concerns or not having good opportunities to do it. For example, there are 20% of people in my country, around 20%, who have passports for going abroad. So the vast majority of people of Russian Federation has never been traveling abroad. And honestly, I feel sorry for them, because as I said above, I think that every person should travel abroad at least one time in life to do something like traveling of your dream. Traveling is just such a wonderful and very healthy thing to have in someone's life. Your eyes are widely open, your heart is beating in a very special way, your blood pressure, I don't know what's going on with your blood pressure, but your mind is also getting clear. If you go somewhere for a couple of weeks, you feel much better, you get new impressions, you forget about your job and you forget about this small everyday routine that you had back there. But if you're going somewhere for a month, for 2 months, or even longer, even you live in your home for even longer time, you're completely restarting your mind and body. You stop caring about some little things, you stop caring about media, you stop caring about what people tell about you, and you feel an absolutely renewed person. And today I want to remind you what to think about before you're going to go somewhere. As it happens, I traveled to 3 different countries, many times to Ukraine, 3 times to Georgia, and 1 time to the United States, so I can say that I know a thing or two. I had most of my trips in the last 8 years, and as you probably know, the Russian Federation has complicated relationship with all those countries. It definitely added some white hairs to my mom's and dad's heads, but nothing could stop me because I really needed to go. During pandemic, I understood that people are still traveling despite of all the restrictions the countries made between the borders. All the people who really want and need to go, they went. Let's begin with the first tip is documents, and particularly visas. All the countries have visa agreements. There is list of countries you can travel to visa-free with tourist purposes. But if you're not coming to any country as a tourist, you have a purpose of immigration, for example, you need a visa before. Of course, we are going to speak about the countries more or less famous and open for traveling. I'm not talking about, let's say, tribes countries in Africa or Antarctics, because we know too little about these countries. And very special people, I believe, want to travel there to see around. Visas are probably the most important thing to have. You need to make sure that your visa is far from expiration date and you also have empty pages in your passport. The next tip is learn about the country you go. If you are unsure to go or not to go, or if you are unsure how you're going to feel there, safe or not safe, you need to find people and talk to them, to search internet, I mean real people who had that experience, and to make up your mind. Consider that now I am not talking about media or your family, relatives, friends who didn't see things with their own eyes. We're all humans, not robots, and everybody around us, your school, university, friends, family, society, media, governments, even I myself right now, we're all working on shaping up your mentality. This is why it is very important to have critical thinking about everything. And that, by the way, applies not only to traveling but just to everything in life. Think about risk reward, chin up, and go ahead. The next tip is learn requirements of the country you go to. In other words, rules of entrance. There are still not enough for some countries to have just passport and visa to go. Some countries require vaccine, some countries require PCR test, insurance, proof that you're relative to someone from that country, and so on. When I traveled to Ukraine last year, 2021, I saw an old man being detained by Ukrainian border control. He came to see his relative to Ukraine. It is not forbidden. He can do it, of course, but he didn't know that they require a special paper from that relative or special document confirming that they are relatives or family. And when I traveled to the United States, I was also detained by the border control. They were searching my bags, they were searching my luggage, and I didn't understand. I was so scared by this activity I didn't expect that I forgot the English language. I was not understanding what they were saying to me. The problem was I got dumplings with meat with me. It was very naive from my and my mom's side. My mom cooked especially for me. I traveled with the dumplings. I made with these dumplings all the way to the United States, and they found it. They asked me very strictly, "What's that?" I was like, "That's dumplings." And they were like, "What's inside? What's the filling?" I said, "Meat." "What kind of meat?" I said, "Pork." Okay, now that's the problem. It is forbidden to bring food, to carry food through the border, and I didn't know that. What did they do? An officer just threw away these dumplings into the trash can right in front of me. And he said, "You can tell your mom that this country has food." I said, "Okay," and ran away. I was so happy I was released. So if you don't want to get in that kind of situation as I did, better to learn about the country before you go. The next tip to think about is pack light. You are not a donkey to travel with all these luggages hanging from your shoulders. Remember that right after closing your door, you already live in your comfort zone. Moreover, in another country you are going to want to buy souvenirs. Someone is bringing bottles of alcohol. It's a heavy stuff. So on the way back, you are anyway going to pack heavier than on your way forth. Get that light attitude to life. Adventurers are not going to wait for you while you're packing. Another tip is think about medicine. Take something that you know surely work well with your body if anything happens. It is not a good idea to get sick in another country and having something like running nose or sore throat, headaches, and so on, and go to the foreign hospital. And you never know how your body is going to get familiar with another climate and with another food. And I really want to mark something very serious because as I see these things are still happening. You cannot carry through the border some kind of a very strong drugs, even if you use it in medical purposes, something like marijuana. You just can't do that in most of the countries, and if you're unsure or you need it, you need to check and learn this question with specialists and border control. The next tip to think before you travel is think about your behavior at the border. The less thing you want or need is to have problems at the border. Think what are you going to say. Especially there is standard list of questions of the border control. Give me your passport. Give me your visa. What purpose of coming? Hmm, any other document if required? Okay, go. There is a lot of people behind you, so move. Have a simple face, answer just what they're asking you, and don't argue, just know that they're doing their job. And if you think that the border control is somebody who really cares about your personality, you are mistaken because it already started before you came to border control. As soon as you started boarding to the airplane that is going to deliver you to the country of your dream, the sweet flight attendants already started having an idea about you. Again, safety considerations on the board. They're just doing their job. So just be nice, simple, let them do it. Another tip before you go somewhere is be nice and learn several things in a foreign language of the country of your destination. It is not difficult and it is just a combination of the sounds for you, but it's a native language for people living in that country. It is not a surprise that many people can speak English nowadays, but just imagine how pleasantly it sounds when you come to China and say ni hao. In Georgia, gamarjoba, in Italy, ciao, and so on. It is just a small step to build good relationship with people. It is one of the most important things in life. And probably the last thing I wanted to mention today is learn the lifestyle of people of the country you go. In other words, what you can do and what you cannot do in another country. Because the because the lifestyle sometimes is very different from your native country. You need to know that. Right now, without learning anything, I can tell you that you need to travel to any country of the world having only positive intentions. Do not spread negativity if you don't like something in another country. Especially forget about criticism or criticizing the government of another country and people. You are in a different territory. You can't argue with somebody. You can't get into any conflict situation. You can't fight or argue with police. What you can do is to be simple, to smile, to agree with people, to say good words or to mark something good that you already saw or heard before. Remember that the laws of your country don't work in another country. And it is your task to adjust. And actually focusing on good things in life is a very good talent we all need to develop. Thank you very much for being with us today. If I forgot to mention some tip, you can leave a comment below to let us know what else can we discuss. Misha and you also going to travel soon, so stay tuned and have a nice day. Пока! This picture is so warm and reminds me about the Russian village in the summer. Everyone, have a nice sunny day.